I really wish that Weston was here for this because we were having a conversation on stream a few weeks ago.
Please.
Yeah, F in the chat for Weston not being here. We were talking about this on stream. This was actually going to be my topic last week, but then we had to cancel because of the snowstorm. Whatever.
I see.
People were trying to make the argument in my Twitch chat that in Star Wars, Darth Vader is not a bad guy.
Yeah, Logan will argue this all day long.
And so I wish
You
Weston...
really want to argue this one?
I do, yes. They were making the argument that Darth Vader is... I said Darth Vader is my favorite villain, and they started the argument that Darth Vader is not actually a villain.
Well, before Logan speaks, I'm going to tell you what he's going to say. Darth Vader is a great villain. He is a total villain. Anakin Skywalker is not a villain, and they're two different people. Is that what you're going to say?
Maybe.
Oh, false.
So overall,
evil.
Overarching character...
Choices matter.
Darth Vader...
Don't give him the scapegoat.
...is a villain.
Yes, he is. Agreed.
And he is... See, and I even argued, like, up till the end, he's still technically a villain.
It's one person.
Like, you can't...
Vader's a villain the whole time. He's... I'm just not even going to... Dan's going to sit there.
No, I want... Just go.
We've
brought
done
this
this
up.
a couple times on the podcast.
We have, but I...
But not talking about Vader being a villain.
Yeah. When I said Star Wars is overrated, we had a long conversation about this.
From a certain point of view, Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker. Shut up, Zach.
No, like...
How did he
So
kill
what I
him,
told
though,
you
if he
was
came
true
back in the
from
end
a certain
anyway?
point of view.
That redemption.
This is so frustrating because we've had this talk so many times, and
That's why I feel like it
goes.
up.
I feel like it goes nowhere because
It's not going to go anywhere because we're never going to change our minds.
I bring it up because I know that you're gonna get fired up about it.
But it is this idea that it is not two separate entities, but like it's weird. There's the light side version of this person and there's a dark side version of this person.
It's one person.
And Darth Vader is the dark side and Anakin Skywalker is the light.
It's one
and
person choosing
the dark side.
his own issues.
The dark side consumed him, and that is
he gave into it and chose that.
He. It's always.
We're never gonna. Why did you bring this up?
Because content.
But
we've done this before, though.
The idea is the dark side in Anakin has always been there, and it's Darth Vader has always existed in Anakin. Whether obviously it wasn't titled Darth Vader until Palpatine gave him the name.
A bit later.
But like
Lord Vader.
The reason that Anakin didn't willingly become evil because he wanted to be evil, he turned to the dark side because he wanted to save Padme, and he had the super rare force ability of future sight, which is something that I don't think any canonical Jedi has had. It's something that's like
Legends. That's it.
Yeah, Legends.
Yoda was kind of able to see.
Like Anakin though is on a Anakin's.
I know it's a whole nother level, but Yoda still had he was still able to look into it.
Kind of, to an extent.
He's
just really sensitive, and he's like
to that point where he can just guess what's gonna.
Yeah, he can like feel. He can sense stuff before, like a little bit before they happen. Anakin was able to see like future events, like.
What was the line that Yoda had in Episode 3 where he was like, "Be careful when looking into the future"? Like he must have known about it or has done it, and then like just chose not to.
Well, I mean, it's also Yoda. He's been around for like 1,000 years, and he's been
thinking about looking into the future. Once you see
when 900 years you reach, look this good, you will not.
It's just a possible future.
But and I feel like the what are you trying to think? Like the Clone Wars and Rebels and some of like the side stuff kind of expounds upon the idea of that Anakin isn't the bad guy. He's the the light side of this character.
Victim.
Like
such a victim. That's why he slaughtered the men, the women, and
Vader.
the children.
That's Darth Vader.
That was it. There's too many of them. What are we going to do?
I hate sand.
I saw it. Did you watch that video that I sent you?
It gets everywhere.
Did you watch that TikTok that I sent you?
That was really funny.
Yeah, there was someone that was funny. They were talking in like a Discord call, and this girl was like, oh yeah, she's like, I just got done watching episode 2. The younglings are so cute with their little hats, and the guy just started laughing, and she's like, wait, what happens to the young?
Execute Order 66.
She goes, what happened to the younglings? And he just started laughing. She's like, do they die? And like started crying in this Discord call.
It was really
That
funny.
can't be real.
It was really funny.
It was pretty good, but
no,
it's one of those things. It's like, I don't know. I feel like Darth Vader, 100%. He's a villain. You cannot change my mind.
No, he is.
And he will agree with
I
you.
don't. I want to
He just says
understand.
different.
No, yeah, and I want to see what they meant by that, like how he's not a villain.
I
Like,
said, all right, so
'cause
here's what happened. So I said that Darth Vader is the best villain in any movie
Yeah.
series that I've seen. Like out of all the movie series,
Yeah.
Darth Vader overall is my favorite villain. He's
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
He's
He's a cool dude.
mystical. Like he's just, if you picture a
You
perfect
like
villain
you
in
like
your head,
lightsabers.
yeah. But like if you picture a perfect villain in your head, I feel like just with
That's not
the
who comes to my
demeanor,
mind.
I picture Darth
Okay.
Vader.
Yeah,
like that
sure.
in my
agree.
mind.
Yeah.
I
that's-
think he's up there
So-
for me too. Yeah.
He's cool. I do.
Yeah,
like
so basically, I was saying that, and someone goes, but Darth Vader wasn't actually a villain.
See,
And I was like, are you
him. Well, they're
stupid?
fundamentally wrong.
did they expound upon that at all? Like, 'cause
Oh, dude, there was like a whole 30-minute discussion on this.
were they trying to get at the point I'm making
my
though, or was
apologies.
it a completely different?
They
'cause-
said that even like throughout the entire thing, it was still Anakin, and it was still good. So technically, he wasn't a villain. And I'm like, that's not how that
but
works.
Anakin was a good.
Okay, Anakin. they even made the argument that like in episode 6, he wasn't a villain in that movie because he redeemed himself, so that wiped away everything. And I'm like, that's not.
Because
I mean, who cares about
Anakin
Alderaan,
took
right?
over back.
Yeah, who needs? Yeah,
Well,
you know.
Darth Vader has always been the villain, but Anakin took control finally back in Episode 6, and that's like
I feel like even at that point, you're still a villain.
yes.
Because here's the thing: it's the same person, it's the same body, right?
I think
it's
we're-
the same person,
Yeah.
the same brain. Okay.
Yes
So-
and
But
no.
it's two different
It's-
people.
Okay.
We're
so
th-
even
okay.
like let's take it this way:
I totally understand
serial-
what he's saying. I just disagree.
a serial killer as a child, and like growing up, you'd be like, oh yeah, he was such a nice kid. What happened? Oh yeah, he became the bad guy.
But that's the thing. That's the thing where we're kind of getting a hiccup here. Is that Zach kind of pointed out here in one of his comments
This is a different
that
universe.
it works differently in Star Wars. Like the idea of good and evil and like
It doesn't.
the
though.
perception of what is good and evil are determined by different things. And in Star Wars, like I was saying earlier, the Clone Wars actually does a really good job explaining this when they go to that. I can't remember what it is, but there's like an arc where they go to this planet, like this force planet, and they meet these brothers. They meet the light brother and like the dark side brother, and Anakin sees his future. Like he gets corrupted by this dark brother, and
so you're telling me that he sees his future of him being the villain in the movie, and he still doesn't change
he
it?
sees the future of the dark
Man.
side of him taking over and becoming Darth Vader.
So at that point,
It's
how do
very
you
fundamental
not
to me,
change your?
Zach, but
that
to
that
each their
means
own.
that
I love Darth Vader. Don't get me wrong,
naturally
but
you're evil. Then, if you know you're going to become evil and murder millions of people,
he's
Well,
iconic.
it was-
I don't necessarily think he's crazy.
He doesn't.
innovative.
He doesn't end
For
up
that, I guess, but
remembering
you know what I
that
mean.
stuff. It's the
He's
dark.
cool though. Don't get me
I
wrong.
feel like
To
there's-
each their own, man.
okay, you got to remember for audio listeners, they're not going to be able to distinguish two different voices talking about two different things at two different times.
I don't
They
care.
can. But no, it's.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Oh, shut up.
But now it's something we've talked about a few times, and it's a lot of interesting discussion. But from as huge of a Star Wars fan as I am, and I've the kind of like stuff I've looked into, and like the stuff that I know of the world, it's pretty clear that Anakin and Vader are two separate entities.
You see what you
And-
want to see, man.
I feel like they're the same person. I mean, they obviously are. Because even when when Luke is like Anakin Skywalker, and he goes, "That is a name I have not used in a long time." He even admits, like, that's my name. So he's admitting right there, yes, that's me.
No, he's showing that like that's not his name. Like Anakin is not a name he's been referred to because he's not Anakin anymore. He's Vader.
But technically, he's
In that
still
moment,
Anakin,
he's
just with a
Vader.
nickname.
I don't know. I feel like it's just. I'm trying to figure out what to say because I feel like we're just going around in a circle here. And
It's
it's
what
like,
it's always gonna be, man.
and
It's just fun
You-
to it's just fun
There's
to poke
nothing
at you.
I understand completely what you're saying.
yeah,
It's not hard to understand.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's right, you know? Like, even when you bring in the whole, like, his eye color changing, back and forth, right? That was Anakin, when it was blue, right? No, he might have a moment of weakness or realization like, man, this kind of sucks. It's still one person making choices. You see the devil and the angel, and it's still one person that has to make the choices for each.
Yeah.
It's still one.
And when still
one person,
you still go down that path. You're still
if this is truly a character of redemption right at the end, like it's the greatest redemption story ever, right? He comes back and overthrows Palpatine, saves it, dies saving Luke, right?
Yeah.
Still a villain.
How is it a redemption if Anakin is always good and he just overthrew Vader? It's not redemption. It's just him taking control again.
Well, that's why it's called Return of the Jedi. It's because Anakin's returning.
Then it's not a redemption story, though. And yet he's called the greatest redemption story ever. Like, it's not redemption then if it's just one person who has been locked away.
Yeah, I can see that. But no, that's literally why it's called Return of the Jedi. It's not because Luke is like an actual realized Jedi.
The new
it's
Jedi
because
order.
Anakin is returning. That's the whole idea of why it's called Return of the Jedi.
But technically speaking, Anakin was there the whole time. So how did he return?
He took control back over.
He chose to make better decisions because he's one person.
It's the same person.
He overpowered Vader.
his own, I don't know, consciousness giving into the dark side, his own weakness there.
I
would call that a weakness, not a separate entity.
That's just like if there was someone that, lived their whole life making great choices, then one day they just snapped and they went off and they started killing a bunch of people and they gave him a nickname for the serial killer. You'd be like, oh, well, that's a different person because he has a new name.
I mean,
now.
his choices were for. He did those things for reasons of good in the first place, though.
But
it was just the wrong thing to do, and it led him on a
path. And like I was saying, like we're thinking of it from a real world perspective, and from a real world perspective, I would completely agree with you. But the way Star Wars works and the way the dark side works is not how anything in the real world works. Like, evilness is just a part of us. It's our nature to be evil and to do bad things. And
don't you think
in
Anakin
Star
proves
Wars,
it's kind of the same thing there?
Star Wars, it's more of a, I don't know if sickness is the right word, but it's like, it's something that it takes over you. It takes over you. Like, the dark side takes over. A great example of this is Mace Windu, one of the best Jedi ever. He is constantly pushing the dark side of him down because he uses a forbidden lightsaber style called Vapad, which draws on the dark side. Which is why he's like the best lightsaber duelist in the galaxy.
This is getting way deeper than I expected.
Not after he lost that arm.
True. But so there's a lot of stuff that talks about Mace Windu.
It's like power. Power is addicting.
And that dark side of him, he has to suppress a lot of the time, and so he has to kind of sit out of some battles, and he has to like be very mindful of when he fights because of him drawing on the dark side.
It's called temptation. It's temptation because there's power there.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, whether you like it or not, I think that adds as well to my argument as much as it does to yours. Like, this is a never-ending argument between us.
No, it is, and I just wanted to kind of poke the bear with it a little bit. I just wanted to get Logan going for content.
No, I mean, it's whatever. I love having discussions about Star Wars, regardless of if it's something we debate about.
It was the topic that I was going to have here last week, but then, we had to cancel, so we didn't have it. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that was it. Because I told you guys last week I had one, and then I just forgot while we were at Wings. I couldn't think of what it was. It hit me. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it was. So I just wanted to bring it up.
Have you watched Mandalorian yet?
I've not yet.
What's wrong with you?
Oh,
dude.
Are you actually a Star Wars fan, or do you just you like Darth Vader? That's it.
I like Darth Vader.
Well, then get out of here, dude.
I also do like Boba Fett, so I got to watch it. Boba Fett's cool. He's mysterious, and that's what I like.
Boba Fett's cool. Din Djarin's better. I'm going to call it right now.
Okay.
I think Din Djarin's better.
Well, I guess when I watch it, I'll find out. Huh?
I think I'd agree with you. I really do. I think
he's such a cooler character fleshed out right now.
So I think this is a take I've heard from a YouTuber I watch, and it was just when he was reacting to like the last episode or whatever, Boba Fett, and he made this comment about the reason why people are kind of so upset with how Boba Fett is as a character.
It's different,
and it's because, well, the reason is because Din Djarin is what people wanted Boba Fett to be,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can't have two Boba Fetts, or else it makes no sense. Like there's no reason to have Din Djarin, and so they've had to.
Boba Fett is completely changed now with his
Yeah.
experiences from
Yeah,
the book.
and it's warranted changes, but I agree with that. Like
Yeah.
Din Djarin is the Boba Fett people wanted, like the kind of more mysterious, the standoffish, the
Especially season 1. He's
Yeah.
changed too.
yeah, he's grown up too. And I don't think I love what they did to Boba Fett. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying anything bad about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But that is why people are kind of polarized about it, and I think that is a really interesting idea that I kind of agree with. Is the fact
well,
that
just
they've had to switch.
just
Kinda
to like
Boba Fett.
pull things back in, we're gonna have to end it here. So since we're gonna be talking about Book of Boba Fett and everything for like the next 3 hours, so we are getting off on a completely different topic than is Darth Vader the bad guy or the villain, which
Which he's not, or Darth Vader
Absolutely
is.
is.
Darth Vader absolutely is. I'd agree with that.